What does it feel like to step inside one of the world's most iconic camera companies, not as a tourist, but as someone actually working there for the day? As someone figuring out my career abroad, Canon Germany gave me a peek behind the curtain and it was wild.
This is Working at Canon for a Day, a series where I take you to different companies to show you what it would be like to work there. So let's spend a day at Canon.
Most people only associate Canon with cameras, and that is indeed a huge part of what they do. That's how I got introduced to the brand in the first place.
As a child, I had Canon 600D as the main camera I was filming my YouTube videos for, and with that camera, I got 20k subscribers. Canon is a part of my journey, and now being here means the world to me.
But Canon doesn't just make, sell, and rent cameras, they've got the whole behind-the-scenes ecosystem that keeps everything running. There is a huge department filled with engineers who test the tech and camera repair technicians. Some focus on optics, others on electronics, and together they make sure everything from lenses to live broadcast rigs are working like new. I also got my task here to clean the old lens, and let me tell you, this needs patience.
Zuerst
Abschluss. Rücken ruhig ein bisschen fest auf die Dose.
okay.
Noch so ein bisschen über die Ecke.
Und okay, es ist etwas.
And just like that, it took me 15 minutes to not even fully clean one camera. And these guys do like 50 a day.
Und dann nochmal.
Dann nochmal und nochmal.
Okay.
Bis es dann.
So that's on cameras, but it's just part of what Canon is about. Another huge section of their business is printers. They print on literally anything, even wood and glass.
This is everything that can be printed with Canon printers. So this is a printed floor.
This is printed, exactly. And you can really feel texture and the structure.
But more impressively, they program textured prints here, like raised images that can imitate anything.
This is crazy that this is not a painting and this is printed.
This includes pictures for visually impaired people, that way they can experience art through touch. Now, I didn't exactly operate one of their industrial UV printers, but they let me hit the button to start the job. That moment gave me a little glimpse into what it might actually feel like to work here. You're not just doing some admin work or watching things happen. You are part of something that creates things. Tangible, big, high-quality things. So by the time it was launched, I've held thousands of euros worth of cameras, acted like a print operator, and filmed a video on finding a job in Germany. Find it on my Instagram. But Canon is not just about the tech. It's also about how they tell stories around it. Let's dive into Canon's communication and media. They have a designated space for filming and broadcasting both internal and external content, everything from employee spotlights to full-on product stories. Think news studio vibes.
Hello, it's karaoke time. But that would be very like chaos. Yes. Like, is that a word? Is it stressful to moderate the live streamings?
It depends. Sometimes yes. Sometimes you have people with very weird requests. Some people want to see everything all the time. So you have to prepare in advance what to show them on their screen, which they can see in the front. Sometimes it's very simple. Like they only want one camera, static, the entire time. Okay. So you just sit here, press start and wait until they're finished.
You have to like get them into, some people get stiff on camera and stuff. Do you have to?
Oh yeah, you have to create an environment where they feel comfortable. Because otherwise it's static. It doesn't look good and not very natural.
Okay. So you're kind of a psychologist too.
To some extent, yes.
Okay.
I also got a behind-the-scenes look while they were mid-shoot, and honestly, it felt like walking onto a mini documentary set. Now it's finally time I introduced you to someone who actually works at Canon every day, a wonderful Sarah who took me through this whole day.
So what do you do in Canon, and what is the department? What is it like being there? What are the responsibilities?
Yeah, I'm Sarah. I'm with the communications department here in Canon Germany. And yeah, as the name says, we're doing communications externally and also internally to our employees. I'm the public relations manager for B2C products like cameras, camcorders, lenses, and so on. My job consists of speaking with journalists, writing press releases, also with our colleagues in social media, because everything is connected to each other.
Canon is pretty much like corporate, right? In my head, when I imagine corporate culture, I imagine very like strict divisions.
I mean, of course, everyone has his or her like role and responsibility, but I think it all comes down also to our philosophy, QSA, which means living and working for the common good. So that really translates into also working as a team, helping each other out.
How would you say your day like typical work day at Canon for you looks like?
This is not easy to answer. I mean, of course, we have like fixed meetings, morning briefing every morning, but it really depends on which projects we're working on, which requests we get from the outside world, from journalists or influencers. This is also what makes the job so special.
Do you do home office sometimes, or is it always on site?
No, we also have like home office, 2 days we can work from home, but I would say it's also very flexible. So if you have something, an appointment you have to make, then you can also speak to your manager. It's really flexible.
What would you say is special about Canon specifically?
First of all, the brand and also the very, very high quality products we have. But I think the one thing that is really unique is like the community we have among the teams, among colleagues. Some colleagues became friends, and I think that's a really good spirit.
Sounds good.
I started my day at Canon expecting suits, silence, and strict schedules, but instead it was surprisingly relaxed. People were collaborating, filming cool stuff, fixing gear, and it's not like you have to be a camera buff to work here either. Although standing in the middle of that shoot setup, come on, working in marketing with all this equipment would be a dream. So if you're like me and have this image of corporate jobs being these gray, soul-sucking office cubicles like in the movies, apparently it's not always the case. Sometimes there are just teams doing genuinely interesting things, with printers the size of small cars, of course. Huge thank you to Canon for bringing me along behind the curtains to help work out my career path. One day, one company, one step closer to figuring it out. See you at the next one.
Oh, God.